Hello everyone, I am Vishnu, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering at Vignan Institute of Technology and Science. So in the last lecture we have seen about the two area system block diagram modeling, and we have seen the uncontrolled case of load flow analysis of uncontrolled case. So when we are going for the uncontrolled case, so we have considered that delta Pc1 and delta Pc2 is equal to 0. By considering delta Pc1 and delta Pc2 is equal to 0, that means we are maintaining a constant, or we are maintaining constant steam valve input to the turbine. By maintaining the constant steam valve input to the turbine, we are analyzing the performance of this two area system, right. So if we see in this lecture we are going to continue that. So we have stopped in the last lecture, that is at delta F static value. We have calculated the delta F static value, so that we are going to continue in this lecture. So if we go for the learning objectives of this lecture, so that is to understand uncontrolled case of two area system by maintaining delta Pc1 is equal to delta Pc2 is equal to 0, and then we have to understand the concept of converting single area system, that is single area system Laplace transformed equations. What are the Laplace transformed equations of single area system? So we are going to convert those single area system into the state space analysis model. So we are going to analyze with the help of state space modeling analysis. So we are going to see, that is optimal load frequency control. That is state space analysis means we are converting, that is optimal load frequency control. So if you see in the uncontrolled case, so we have calculated that delta F static. So if we see there, delta F static is equal to delta PD2 plus A12 delta PD1 by 1 by R2 plus B2 plus A12 into 1 by R1 plus B1 you are going to get. So that is why the delta F static equation. So if I substitute this equation, that is delta F static equation in equation 5. So what is that equation 5? Equation 5 is nothing but delta P T1 static value, that is equal to minus 1 by R1 plus B1, that is into delta F static minus delta PD1 you are going to get. So that is what your fifth equation. If I substitute this equation 7 in that equation 5, you are going to get delta P T1 static value, that is minus 1 by R1 plus B1 into minus delta PD2 plus A12 into delta PD1 by 1 by R2 plus B2 plus A12 into 1 by R1 plus B1 minus you are having delta PD1 in equation 5, you are having minus delta PD1. So that minus delta PD1 we have considered here. So if I calculate, go on calculating, so by multiplying minus 1 by R1 plus B1 inside the bracket, then you are going to get these equations. By rearranging those equations, so this A12 into 1 by R1 plus B1 and minus A12 1 by R1 plus B1, so those two are going to get cancelled. Then you are having the equation 8, that is delta P T1 static is equal to 1 by R1 plus B1 into delta PD2 minus 1 by R2 plus B2 into delta PD1 by 1 by R2 plus B2 plus A12 into 1 by R1 plus B1. That is what your equation 8. So equation 8 is nothing but delta P T1 static, that is the static power which is transferred from area control area 1 to control area 2 through a tie line we are transferring. So let us consider beta 1 is equal to B1 plus 1 by R1, beta 2 is equal to B2 plus 1 by R2. So if I substitute these two equations in equation 7 and 8, so here equation 8 you are having, here equation 7 is nothing but delta F static equation, and you are having delta P T1 static values. So if I substitute these two, that is B1, B2, those two values if I substitute in delta F static as well as in the delta P T1 static, then what you are going to get is delta PD2 plus A12 into delta PD1 by B2 plus A12 into B1, that is in the heads. The units of frequency is in heads you are going to get, and then you are having delta P T1 static value is beta 1 delta PD2 minus beta 2 delta PD1 by beta 2 plus A12 into beta 1, that is in per unit megawatts. So if you are having two identical parameters, that means the two control areas what you are considering is having the same rating machines, and all the values are going to be identical, both the values are going to be same. Then what happens? What are the performance of that system is going to be? That is nothing but I am considering B1 is equal to B2 is equal to B, D1 is equal to D2 is equal to D, and beta 1 is equal to beta 2 is equal to beta. So here we are considering D1, in the place of D1 we have considered R1 R2, right? So R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R. So this regulation, that is speed regulation, in some textbook it is given as D, and some textbooks it is given as R. So you can consider either it may be R, it may be D, but in our case we have considered R. So I can consider that as R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R, and you are having A12, so that is PR1 by PR2, that value I have considered as equal to 1. So by substituting these values, so in the delta F static equation as well as in the delta P Ti1 static equations, then we are going to get minus delta PD2 plus delta PD1 by 2 beta heads, and you are having delta P Ti1 static is equal to delta PD2 minus delta PD1 by 2, that is per unit megawatts. So that is nothing but minus delta P Ti2 static value. So it is in the reverse, right? Why I have considered that is reverse means delta P Ti1 static is equal to minus A12 into delta P Ti2 static, because A12 I have considered as 1, then delta P Ti1 static is equal to minus of delta P Ti2 static. So in the place of A12 I have substituted 1 value. So if a step load change occurs in area 1, step load change occurs in area 1, then you are going to have delta PD2 is equal to delta PD1 only. So then you are going to get delta F static value is minus delta PD1 by 2 beta, that is heads. Then delta P Ti1 static is equal to minus delta PD1 by 2 per unit heads value, right? Sorry, per unit megawatts there, that is per unit megawatts, right? So what I can conclude is here you are having delta P Ti1 static values as a divided by 2 values, and delta F static value is also divided by 2. But in the previous case, that is in single area system, what you are having is minus delta PD by beta, but here it is directly you are having minus delta PD1 by 2 beta. You are having 1 by 2 values, that is your frequency, static frequency change or change in the frequency in a steady state, so which is considered as 50% only. So which is considered as 50% only, that means your static frequency error is reduced only 50% in case of 2 area system. In case of 2 area system, the static frequency error is only reduced to 50%, but whereas if we use integral controller in case of single area system, the static frequency error is going to be reduced to 0. That means we can make static error in case of steady state analysis of single area system, we have made that to 0 by using integral controller. But here we are not using any integral controller, but as of now, if I consider uncontrolled case, by making the delta PC1 is equal to delta PC2 is equal to 0, we have got delta F static is equal to 1 by 2 values of single area system. That means your static frequency error is reduced to 50% only, right? So if we go for the next one, is next topic is optimal load frequency control. That is nothing but the state space analysis of load frequency control. So we are converting uncontrolled case with integral controller. We are converting uncontrolled case with integral controller to the state space model. That is, here I am considering a single area system. So for the simple analysis, first we are considering single area system, as this is only there in your syllabus. I am considering single area system here. So if I consider the single area system, that means in the integral controller, we are adding integral controller. In order to reduce the steady state error to 0, we are adding integral controller. So if you see here, you are having integral controller, that is minus Ki by S, and you are having a transfer function, that is turbine and generator both. If you consider together, that means kg kt value is nothing but 1 by 1 plus STG into 1 plus STT. You are having the input as delta PG of S, and there is a delta PD of S you are having. So that is delta PD of S is nothing but the change in the load, and there you are having power system, that is Kp by 1 plus STP, that is Gp of S. So here if I convert this integral controller block diagram into the state space analysis, how you are going to get means, here if you see here, that is 1 by S I am considering in the place of integral controller, and you are having 1 by R is a feedback, and you are having 1 by 1 plus STG and 1 by 1 plus STT, that is turbine model 2, and this 3 is a governor model, and you are having the power system model, that is Kp by 1 plus STP, and x2 value you are having. So here I am considering some notations with respect to the state space model. So what is here is, before we proceed with the optimal load frequency problem, we must build a model in state space form. So in that we are going to assume, so we are writing the differential equations. By writing the differential equations in terms of state space variables, so with the consideration of state space variables, we are going to write the differential equations. With that differential equations, we are going to write the state space model. So that is in the form of x is equal to, so if you see here, you are going to get x dot is equal to ax plus bu, y is equal to cx plus du. So if you see here, you are having x dot is equal to ax plus bu, y is equal to cx plus du. So we are going to write the equation in that form, right? So that is, here I am considering u is equal to delta Pc, that is change in the power command, and x1, x2, x3, x4 like that. So x2 is nothing but our output, that is delta F is our output. So where x4 is nothing but that is equal to delta xv you are going to get, right? So this is what your state space model. So if I write the equations for this state space model, just first consider 1 by 1 blocks. So if I consider, so first write the x1 is equal to what? Integration of delta F of dt. So that is nothing but, x1 is nothing but which we are getting the input from integral controller. So I have written x1 is equal to delta F dt, and x2 is nothing but what? Your output. So if you see there, x2 is equal to delta F is nothing but your output, and you are having x3 is where you are having x3 is nothing but delta Pg. So before the power system block you are having summator, before that summation you are having delta Pg. So x3 is nothing but delta Pg, change in the power generated command, and you are having x4 is nothing but what? X4 is equal to delta xv, which is getting the signal from where? That is governor model, right? And you are having u is equal to input vector, that is you are going to get from delta Pc, power change in command, delta Pc, right? And here d is equal to delta Pd. So if you see d, that is change in the load, delta Pd, right? So those are the values which we are taking from the block diagram. So if we write the block diagram, from that block diagram 1, we are having equation for the x2. Let us consider x2 as a output, and input for that x2 is delta Pg and delta Pd, both are the input for that, and you are having a power system block diagram, that is Kp by 1 plus STP. So if you see here, Kp by 1 plus STP into x3 minus d, which is equal to x2 I am considering. That means here if you see, x3 is the input, that is delta Pg, and you are having d is the another input, that is change in the load d, x3 minus d into Kp by 1 plus STP, which is equal to x2 I have considered. That means what is the transfer function equation is output by input, which is equal to transfer function. So here x3 minus d as my input and output is x2. You are having a transfer function is Kp by 1 plus STP. So Kp by 1 plus STP is nothing but x2 by x3 minus d. Just I have taken that x3 minus d input to the left side, you are going to get that equation. So kp into x3 minus d, which is equal to, just multiply 1 plus stp to the right hand side, that is x2 into 1 plus stp you are going to get. So if you write rearranging those terms, you are going to get x2 dot into tp is equal to kp x3 minus kp into d minus x2 you are going to get. So why you have got x2 dot means you are having x2 is equal to what? x2 into s into tp is equal to s, you are having s, I am considering that is in the Laplace transform form, s is in the form of Laplace transform. So if I convert that Laplace transform into the time domain analysis, then what you are going to get is x2 dot into tp. I am converting that into the time domain analysis. There is a Laplace transformed equation, I am converting that Laplace transformed equation into the time domain analysis equation, that is x2 dot tp you are going to get, right. x2 into s into tp is equal to d by dt of x2 into tp, that is d by dt of x2 into tp is nothing but what? x2 dot tp. So that's why I have considered x2 dot tp, which is equal to kp into x3 minus kp into d minus x2 you are going to get. So if I bring this tp to the right hand side, you are going to get x2 dot is equal to minus x2 by dp plus kp by 1 plus stp into x3 minus kp by tp into d. Let us consider that as equation 1. So if I write the equations from the block 2, so that is 1 by 1 plus STT, 1 by 1 plus STT. So what is the input for that is x4 is the input, output is x3, x4 is the input, output is x3. So here if you see, x3 is the output, x4 is the input, your transfer function is 1 by 1 plus STT. So I can write that as x4 by 1 plus STT, which is equal to x3. x3 is the output, x3 by x4 is equal to transfer function, that is 1 by 1 plus STT, right. I have considered or multiplied that x4 to the left hand side, means x4 by 1 plus STT is equal to, you are having x3. So if you write x4 is equal to what? So x3 into 1 plus STT is bring to the right hand side, then that is going to be multiplied with x3, then x3 into 1 plus STT. So if you rearrange those terms, then again you are having x3 into s into tt, that is nothing but x3 dot tt, as in the case of x2 dot tt. So we have considered the same thing here, x3 dot tt you can consider. So if I write the equation for the x3 dot from that, minus x3 by tt plus x4 by tt you are going to get, that is, let us consider that is as a equation 2. So from the block diagram 3, so if you see the from the block 3, that is 1 by 1 plus STG, block 3 represents 1 by 1 plus STG, that is your Governor model, right. So here you are having a Governor model. So for that input is what? For that Governor model you are having two inputs. One input is getting from the u, another input is getting from the 1 by r with output is x2. x2 by r is a one input and another input is from u, that is from the integral controller you are going to get. So that means here minus x2 by r, that is you are having negative feedback. 1 by r is nothing but what? Minus value. So that means you have to consider minus x2 by r plus u into 1 by 1 plus STG, which is equal to x4. So if you rearrange those terms and then if you write x4 dot equation, that is x4 dot is equal to what? Minus x2 by rtg minus x4 by tg plus u by tg you are going to get. So that is equation number 3. Let us consider that as equation 3. Then from block 4, so if you see the block 4 here, so what is the block 4? That is integral controller. Block 4 is nothing but the integral controller, that is input is having from delta f. Delta f is nothing but what? That is x2. Delta f is equal to x2. You are having the input is from x2 and output is x1. x2 is the input, output is x1. Your transfer function is 1 by s. That is x2 by s, which is equal to x1. So if you see here, x2 by s which is equal to x1. So that means x2 is equal to s into x1, that is x2 is equal to x1 dot or x1 dot is equal to x2. You can consider this as a equation number 4. So if I write by considering those 4 equations, x dot is equal to ax plus bu plus fd, that is state space model. What is actually the state space model? It is not in the form of state space model. Our state space model is x dot is equal to ax plus bu, y is equal to cx plus du. So that is what your state space model, where x is equal to what? x1, x2, x3, x4 transpose, x1, x2, x3, x4 transpose, that is nothing but your state vector, and u is a control vector. U, either it may be a small u or you can consider capital U. So that is in some textbooks it is considered as capital U, some textbooks it is considered as small u, right. So if I consider disturbance vector, that is D is equal to disturbance vector, right. So from that, by considering those 4 equations, equation 1, 2, 3, 4, if I write the A vector, A is equal to 0, 1, 0, 0, that means with respect to 2, 1 and 2 values, that is, so here in the equation 4 you are having x1 dot is equal to x2 only, x1 dot is equal to x2, then you are having in the place of 2 you are having 1, that is multiplied by 1, the multiplication of that x2 is 1, the remaining terms, there is no remaining terms in the equation 4, then you are having zeros, so there is no x1 term, then that is 0. Next you consider x2 dot. So x2 dot, where you are having x2 dot, x2 dot is equal to this one. So in the last equation, that is equation 1, you are having x2 dot, x2 in the place of x2 dot you are not having any x1 term. So in this you are not having any x1 term, then what you have to do? Then you have to consider in the place of x1 you have to consider 0, that is in the second row, first column you are having 0 value, then you are having, so if you see here in the last, x minus x2 by tp, that is minus 1 by tp. So in the place of second one, that is minus 1 by tp, second row second column you are having minus 1 by tp. So like that, if you write plus kp by tp into x3, that means kp by tp you are having, you are not having any x4 term, you are not having any x4 term means there is no x4 term means 0. So like that, from the x3 equation, let us consider the x3 equation, where you are having x3 equation. So here, that is equation 2 is the x3 equation, that is x3 dot is equal to minus x3 by dt plus x4 by dt. So that means in the place of 3 and 4 you are having values, in the place of 1 and 2 you are not having any values in the third row, then that is nothing but zeros. Then x4. So if you see the equation 3, in that equation 3 you are having x4 dot which is equal to minus x2 by rtg minus x4 by tg plus u by tg. So then you are having 1 and 3, in the place of 1 and 3 you are having zeros, because so in this equation you are not having any 1 and 3 terms, that is x1 and x3 terms are not there, then I have considered 0 values, right. B is equal to what here 0 0 0 and 1 by tg. So in the last term you are having 1 by tg, so that is, so here 1 by tg, x4 dot is equal to 1 by tg. So in the fourth place you are having 1 by tg, so that is I have considered 1 by tg. Then you are having f vector, f is equal to, where you are having d multiplied by d, so x2 dot, so in the place of 2 you are going to get minus kp by 1 plus 1 minus kp by tp you are going to get. So that is minus kp by tp in the place of second value, the remaining values are going to be 0. So that is what the steady state values or state space value we are considering. We are converting the steady state values into state space values. So that is what the equations, but those values are not in the standard form of x dot is equal to ax plus bu values. Then what you have to do? We have to write the equations into the standard form. So how to convert those standard values? So that means we are going to consider control vectors and state vectors as a sum of transient and steady state values, that is x is equal to x dash plus xss, and u is equal to u dash plus uss. So these values I am substituting these equations in equation 5. So if you see the equation 5, that is x dot is equal to ax plus bu plus f into d. So that if I substitute in that state space equation, then you are going to get x is equal to a into x dash plus xss. X dash is nothing but the transient value, xss is nothing but the steady state value. Just substitute those values, then you are going to get. So for the constant disturbance vector d, the steady state is reached when x is equal to 0. Then substitute x is equal to 0 in that equation 6. If I substitute x is equal to 0, then you are having axs plus buss plus fd. So that is equation 7. So if I substitute this equation 7 in equation 6, equation 6 is this. If I substitute this in that equation 6, that means x dash is equal to ax dash plus bu dash. So if I consider from the block diagram as well as from the state space model block diagram, so we find that the constant value of disturbance input d, the steady state values of state and control variables, that is x1 ss is equal to 0, x2 ss is equal to 0, x3 ss is equal to delta pd, x4 ss is equal to delta pd, and uss is equal to delta pd. So these are the values. X is equal to x dash plus xss and y is equal to u is equal to u dash plus uss. So thus we have x1 is equal to x1 dash plus 0, that is x1 is equal to x1 dash, x2 is equal to x2 dash plus 0, that is x2 is equal to x2 dash. So what we are doing is just we are substituting these values in the equations x is equal to x dash plus xss. So in the place of xss, what happens? We are having 0, that means just I am substituting 0 in the place of xss. So that is x is equal to x1 dash, you are having x2 is equal to x2 dash, and you are having x3 is equal to x3 dash plus delta pd, x4 is equal to x4 dash plus delta pd, u is equal to u dash plus delta pd. So if I write these, or if I arrange these terms, so in the state space model, x dash, x1 dash, x2 dash, x3 dash, x4 dash you are having, then the values if I substitute, that means a vector is a state vector 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, minus 1 by tp, kp by tp, 0, those values you are going to get, which is multiplied by in differentiation values, that is x1 dash, x2 dash, x3 dash, x4 dash, and you are having u is a vector there 0, 0, 0, 1 by tg. So these are the in the form of, this is in the form of state space model. So that is what your standard state space model. So we are converting in the state space model, that is steady state response into the state space model. This is what you are in the equations in the state space model, right? So if you see the summary of this lecture, by using controlled case, what we have done, we can easily analyze the performance of two area systems, and we are converting steady state analysis into the state space analysis. We can analyze and control the two area system by converting the state space model, because we are having control vectors. You are going to get the control vectors. In that control vectors, if you change the control vector values, then your output is going to be changes. So that is what the main controlling requirement of two area system. So thank you everyone, thank you for listening this class, thank you.